Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Option Pit Morning Volatility Report. It is I, Andrew Giovinazzi, Chief Operating Officer of OptionPit.com, welcoming you to said report. For Option Pit members, we have our Trader Summit, where we're going to learn about VIX, evaluating mergers and acquisitions in special situations, how to find edge and option trades, understanding an FDA pipeline, and strangles and how to trade them. And with that, again, we'll have pro speakers speaking on their subjects there. We also have a White Sox game. I guess we can't get Cubs tickets anymore. We'll have dinners, all kinds of great stuff. It's a very nice event. Learn about trading. Mark and I are there the whole time, meeting our clients. Usually, we usually take about 20, and then we fill up our slots, and that's it. So for all you Option Pit clients that are interested, please come or join OptionPit.com, and we will welcome you aboard. And with that, we actually have a little bit of volatility today. Just I'm noticing, there are some headlines. There's headlines here. And besides that, also we have the French elections, and I use this the FEZ, the Fez, as a way to kind of look at it here. So if you just take a look here, notice again you have implied the FEZ hasn't really moved more than 1% forever, yet the implied volatility continues to climb and climb and climb into the event. So the Europeans are taking at least volatility in a major Euro stocks index is still taking interest. Congress is on recess and papers need to print something to sell papers. Nothing much has changed, I guess. So anyway, you have this. It's a thing. The vol is bid here, and you notice for a very long time, at least in the SPX, SPX, again, realize vol here is the same thing. It's not doing very much, although we're down 0.5% today. It's down 0.5%. It's still only around an 8% vol. It's not very much. But here's 20-day volatility, very low. And now all of a sudden, we're starting to climb on, okay, this French election thing, although polling-wise, it's not going well for the more right candidate, but that has not deterred other elections, I guess, right? So you have Brexit and the U.S. election as well. So there's still a bid for vol there. You have some tough talk on Syria, which is about 180-degree change from last week. All that stuff is adding to the volatility before we have any earnings coming out. How high will the vol go? Your guess is as good as mine. A couple things to look at, though, is how high can VIX go at this point? Well, VIX can go very high. Since there's a lot more uncertainty around, we're now at a high for volatility for 2017. It doesn't mean that vol can't go down. But we need a reason for it to go down. So now that this Syrian thing is there, the trend for vol most likely will be slightly higher. So we could go maybe 2 steps forward in vol, 1 step back, depending on the headlines. The French elections, I believe the first round is the 23rd. So you have some kind of curious stuff around that. With the 23rd, the only sure settlement before the election is on the 19th. So what that will mean for that future, for this April future here, is all of a sudden now that VIX cares about it, cares about the election, or there could be some hedging, buying some SPX volatility to hedge Euro volatility, for instance. This future is going to settle prior to the election. And if there's a lot of uncertainty going to the election, maybe VIX trades 18, maybe 17, who knows, 16.5, something like that. So this contract will settle before the election at a higher VIX. which is, I think, why you're seeing this is the most expensive contract now going out almost into September. September is starting to pick up a little bit. August, so we're now almost backward to August, near term. The May is picking up. We're getting a slight pickups here across the board, but for now, what will happen is this curve, if the election really and truly is, the French election is a big deal, you'll see this curve pull up a little bit because VIX is going to pull up as we get closer, because the May, those cycles should start to just keep dragging up a little higher and higher. So don't be surprised if you see the April settle at 16 or 17 even, or higher. That's what we have. As far as equities go, I mean, look at some of the flyers, right? You have Tesla is down $3. Intel has been moving lately. It's given about back $1 in the last couple of days. Google's kind of settling. So you have most of the big stocks, I would say, are not really selling off. They're just kind of meandering. They're meandering before earnings. So you have just sort of a strange. So I think short term, we could find some interest. We'll look for it in the chat room today, some short term trades, because vol is still relatively low short term. We were looking at this yesterday. Even up into midday yesterday till I would say 2 o'clock, you could buy 7.5 volatility in this term in the April 17. Now that's Monday. That's a Monday expiration next week. But very, very, very inexpensive options here. We'll take a look at these spreads, see if we can get anything going here today in our chat room. We'll also look at the volatility products, because now all of a sudden the upside's possible. Upside in volatility is always possible, but right now, you have two things. Usually what I say, to really have VIX really run, you need really three kind of exogenous events. Got the French election, all of a sudden, Syria is a priority, and another surprise shoe drops out of somewhere, and all of a sudden VIX can, be very high indeed, because all of a sudden there are a lot more unknowns when in fact everything was pretty, at least the perception was pretty stable. So it could be buying opportunities in actually a lot of stocks. A lot of stocks that we follow. I mean, Apple's almost down 1%. You got several stocks here that are, selling off a little bit. Again, opportunities could pop up. Now there might be some shorter term vol that we can sell. We'll look at that as well. So is this a one-off event? Like I said, vol will probably move 2 steps up, 1 step back, depending on the news. And the trend most likely will be up until April 23rd, which is that first election. And then things will become probably a little more clear. And that is, we now have, I will call this, yes, we now have some volatility in the options, not so much in the underlying today. And with that, I will talk to you all later.